This is Lewis Hart for Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store. Delighted to be joined with WBC Featherweight World Champion Skye Nicolson, straight from the home of US Boxing, Philadelphia, ahead of your fight against Dyana Vargas on Saturday night. How's things? How are we looking forward to this one on Saturday?
Yeah, everything's good. Settled into Philly, straight into the time zone. The professional traveler, no problems there with the jet lag. So, no, I feel in a really good place. I feel like I say this every fight week, but I feel like everything's just aligned perfectly. Like I think I'm peaking right at the right time. I've had a really, really good camp. Weight's perfect. Everything's just all guns blazing, ready to go Saturday night. Can't wait.
Before we get into the journey to Philadelphia, which we'll get into, I just wanted to say sort of suppose taking about going to Philadelphia about a week out, I guess.
Yeah.
How has that been for the preparation? Because for myself, I speak on a personal level. Like whenever I always travel to the States, I've always struggled with the jet lag. So is there ever a worry traveling a little bit later to America with the jet lag?
Coming to this side of America, it's not so bad. I found going to the West Coast,
Yeah, yeah.
it's a bigger time jump, and a longer flight and stuff. We'd probably go out a bit earlier, but with the 5 hour time difference, I feel like a week's plenty. For me, I got in on Saturday night, um, about 10 or 12 hours later than planned.
Yeah.
But I got in Saturday night. I banked a 9 hour sleep Saturday night. And I've had 8 to 9 hours sleep every night since. So I basically just got straight in the time zone. Um, so it's been fine. If anything, I probably wasn't prepared for the heat wave that we've
Oh,
had
really?
here. It's
Yeah.
been like 36 degrees Celsius. I don't know what that is Fahrenheit, but hot. So I think maybe in hindsight, we maybe would have come a little bit earlier if we realized it was actually like that big of a jump in heat, but it's been fine. Everything's good. I'm feeling really, really good in training. Um, my weight cut's on point, like everything's good. So yeah, everything's ready to go Saturday night.
Yeah. Well, you said you got there on Saturday night. That can't be said for your whole team. I suppose part of your team, Eddie Lamb and Bradley Ski, both or as well as yourself, had an absolute travel nightmare. I remember I spoke to Eddie on the Saturday or the Sunday actually when he was going to fly out, and obviously I dealt with the issues of the flight on Saturday with the car breaking down, and I see he posted on his story having a broken headphones, and then I've texted him being like, "Cool, this couldn't get any worse." Then he said to me, "I haven't even got my luggage," so an absolute nightmare
Yeah.
journey for them lot.
It was just like one thing after the other. You couldn't have written the bad luck that we just faced. Even for me, so I still got in on Saturday night, obviously didn't fly direct into Philly, but did eventually get here late Saturday night, opened my suitcase and protein powder had gone through
Oh no.
everything, literally everything in my bag. It's like it was the longest day, I can't tell you. And all I was like, I was just opening my bag to get my chargers and stuff out and just go straight to sleep. And I was just like,
Yeah.
my God, I'm being tested today. It was so frustrating. I literally was like patting all the powder out of like everything in my suitcase, my shoes, my clothes. I'm doing a white fight week,
Yeah.
and the protein powder is like this pink purpley color, gone through
Uh,
all the white stuff in my bag. And I was just like, oh man. But yeah, at least my bags made it.
yeah.
Poor Brad and Ed have had to wait 3 days. They finally got their bags late last night.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a bit of a nightmare journey for all of us.
Fair. Not too much pressure for you to get the job done on Saturday.
I know it'll be worth it when the hand's raised on Saturday night and we're eating Philly cheesesteaks.
Um, Definitely. And I suppose one thing before we went into the Vargas fight, I wanted to speak to you about. It's like it's a common trend of your pro career so far that you know, obviously you're based in the UK, but it's very rarely you've actually fought in the UK. You know, you think you're on
I
a run
know.
at the moment. I think of obviously this one in Philadelphia, Vegas. I think Dublin, then Tijuana before that. Um, it must be enjoyable, I suppose, to be traveling and be boxing along with it.
Yeah, I love it. I'd love to be on a London show. I've been living there 2.5 years now, and I'll have my own little London homecoming one day, I'm sure. But no, it's good. Like, part of signing with Matchroom was the opportunities that would be there to fight all around the world. And that was something that excited me about turning pro and about my pro career. So to be boxing in all of these amazing venues and places around the world, it's so good. And I'll never feel like an away fighter, because I've always been an away fighter. It's normal for me. So I could fight anywhere and feel like I can make it my place. Do you know what I mean? Like, I can own that city while I'm there. So it's been fun. I love it. I want to keep boxing in different places all around the world. It's it's a dream.
And I'm sure it was the same when you was on Team Australia as well. You was fighting all over around the world there. And obviously now, sort of, when you've been fighting all around the world as a pro, you're going to have your team with you and, you know, people close to you. Like, how would you balance sort of that way of having a job to do, but almost enjoying and appreciating where you are at that moment, I guess?
You know what? Like, my style of fighting, like, I'm a very relaxed fighter anyway. When I'm happy, I've got good people around me, that's when you're going to like see my best performances anyway. Nothing has to be too serious. I obviously take the job very seriously. I do the work in the gym day in, day out. But I like having enjoyable fight weeks. I like everyone being in high spirits and excited. We're in a new city. It's fight week. We have like that special, like, it's fight week feels every single time. So I feel like that only helps me go into the ring in a better place. Like, if everything was really like dull and boring and I didn't have all my family and friends and my team around me, I don't think it would have that same feel. But I absolutely love fight week. I feel like this is what all of those hard training sessions are for, like these moments. And I love it. I take it all in.
Do you think when it's all said and done, you know, you'll think of the time, say, you know, like you're walking around Philadelphia with, you know, with Eddie, Brad, Paul, and everyone like that. Like, those are the moments that you really cherish when it's all said and done.
Yeah, of course. I think the most special moments I've had with my team have been like all sitting eating together after a win, being back at the hotel lobby, eating like a big load of pizza or McDonald's or whatever it is, and just being like, job done again. There's no better feeling. I feel so like lucky and blessed. I have such genuine people around me that like just truly want the best for me, and they want me to win as badly as I want to win for myself. And I think it can be rare to find really genuine people around you, especially in professional sports. So I definitely don't take it for granted that I've got really good, genuine people on my team and always batting for me and have my back. So it's definitely not something I take for granted.
Definitely, for sure. I suppose we'll get on to Saturday night and fighting Dyana Vargas, who's I suppose a big puncher that you could say. You know, she's had a lot of stoppages, stopped a lot of people. So something to be wary of on ahead of Saturday night.
Yeah, definitely. I think she would be my most dangerous opponent. She's got a very high KO ratio for a female. She's stopped girls with winning records. It's not like they've just been people that come in and get stopped by everyone either. So we're definitely wary of her power. We're definitely going into the fight with a lot of respect for what she's already done and what she's capable of. But we have a game plan. We've watched her a lot. I feel like I know her. I feel like I know her inside out. I think that's the way it should be. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for the challenge. I'm excited to have someone that's definitely coming in to take my head off and coming in to win. So I think I've always said I think that's when you're going to see the best me as well. So no, I'm very excited about this fight. I think it's going to be a really good clash of styles, and it's going to pull more out of me that I guess maybe some of my other opponents haven't, and hopefully get to show everyone kind of more of what I do in the gym, and we can see more of that transfer from what I'm doing in sparring and drills and on the pads and that, and then bringing it into the performance and into the fight. So that's kind of like my main focus for Saturday night.
Definitely. And with yourself, you know, it's a cliche question, but you've always made it clear who the fighters that you want and specific fighters that you want to fight. Do you think it, you know, these fights that like someone like Dyana Vargas is a fight you have to be so careful of, because if you can't get through her, then these fights that you're talking about aren't going to materialize.
Yeah, of course. I mean, every fight that I'm in, that person's in the way of me getting to where I want to be and what I want to achieve. So while I have, I guess, big goals and dreams and things that I want to achieve, none of that happens until I get through Saturday night. So my full focus is on July 13th. It's on Dyana Vargas. I'm finally gone from hunter to hunted. I've had people calling me out over the last few weeks, which I think is amazing. It's the place I want to be in. Instead of having to try and convince people to fight me, I've got people calling me out and wanting to fight me. So I feel like I'm in a really, really good position. And I feel like take care of business on Saturday night, and there's some exciting fights to be made in the featherweight division. There's some great fights out there for me. So obviously, while I'm still chasing the other belts and chasing the big fights with the likes of Amanda Serrano, I think I'm going to be in some really exciting matchups post Saturday night as well. But of course, my full focus, my energy, everything has been on July 13th, and that's the way it has to be until you get the job done, because you don't get through that, then the other stuff doesn't happen anyway.
You talked there about going from the hunt to the hunted, and everyone talks about that championship mentality, and almost getting that extra 20% when you do become a champion. Did you ever sense that after the Mahfoud fight? Because you could say that the Mahfoud fight was almost like a shutout victory, I guess. So did you ever sense that, like, you know, was it ever hard to realize, you know, I'm a world champion now, because the fight was so convincing in your favor?
A little bit, yeah. I feel like it's crazy to say, but like sometimes I think like, oh, I just want that moment, like where you're waiting at the end, like to see if you won or not. And obviously I haven't had that as a pro, but at the same time, it's like, but why would I make a fight harder for myself if I don't have to, and I can win that convincingly? So it's like the double-edged sword a little bit, and there's like those two sides. But those harder fights are going to come, of course. There's going to be certain styles that will make things harder for me, I'm sure. But I don't know. It's like, do I purposely put myself in positions to make the fight harder just to be in more of a fight? I don't know. It's a hard one. It's something that's kind of been like a little bit of a battle, not even just with me, but like you see the different opinions online all the time as well. Some people are like, well, why would she? And other people are like, yeah, but it's the entertainment industry. And it's like, yeah, but why would she purposely get more damage when she can win so easily and convincingly without? So it's like, I see both sides of it as well. You know what I mean? Like, I want to be entertaining, and I want to be in big fights. And I know that to do that, you have to be entertaining as well. But then there's the other side, and the purists who are like, you are entertaining. And if you love boxing and the art of boxing, then you're doing it perfectly. So it's like, you're never going to make everyone happy. But we've probably talked about this before anyway.
Of course. Well, I was going to say that, like, do you think it's sorry to cut you off, but do you think like that to bring out that do you think it's like a legacy fight, like a Serrano, or, you know, look at a Baumgartner or Maya? Do you think that needs to, like, and this isn't a disrespect to any previous opponent, but you need that legacy type win to really sort of bring that out of you?
I think so. And I just feel like while I am levels above the opponents that are being put in front of me, is that not proof enough that I'm worthy of those big fights, if that makes sense? Like, Mahfoud was also an opponent of Amanda Serrano. I think in Amanda Serrano's like 40th fight, I fought her in my 10th fight and did a better job. And won more clearly. Like, the levels, you couldn't, do you know what I mean? So it's like, do I just keep winning so clearly and so convincingly that people are like, we need to put her in with someone better, and they're going to run out of people? That's the problem.
Oh, it's only right that we do talk about the Amanda Serrano fight. It's a question probably for all your last couple fights now, is everyone's going to ask you about Serrano and this and that, and she's obviously, the Katie Taylor fight is off the table for her now, for the time being. Do you think that, it is a real possibility that this fight could materialize with Amanda Serrano?
To be honest, no. She's not going to fight at featherweight this year. She's fighting up at super lightweight next week. She's got the fight with Katie Taylor at super lightweight in November. So that's over a year out of the ring defending the featherweight belts. I don't even know how she can still be holding them. And I feel like there should be pressure from girls that are high up in the rankings on those other bodies, should be putting pressure on for her to be stripped. I know it's probably easier said than done, unfortunately, and there's all the politics that go with boxing, but I just think, like, how do you actually get away with it? Yeah. And it's frustrating because obviously it's stopping unification fights, it's stopping undisputed fights from happening. And I don't think she has any interest in fighting me. I think if she did, I think it would have happened by now, or at least some kind of interest in that fight, or that it might happen, and there's just nothing. So I just feel like, I said it a year ago, she doesn't want to fight me, and I still believe that. I do believe my style's all wrong for her, but at the end of the day, at the moment, she's got what I'm chasing. She's got what the featherweight division are chasing. So of course we want that fight. And I feel like it's going to be really shit for her to be stripped and then they be fought for as vacant belts. Do you know what I mean? But it's kind of robbing the opportunity of anyone actually winning those belts off the champion. And that's what I find the most frustrating about it.
Why do you think it is? Because you've always been banged on about the Serrano fight, and Serrano's never been, like, she's never been vocal about the idea of fighting yourself. Like, why do you think that is? Do you think that is because, you know, she'd be more interested in a Kate Taylor fight or this and that? Or like, why do you think that there's no clamour from her team to take the fight against yourself?
I think they see me as high risk, low reward. I think they do know that my style will be a problem for her. I think they do know that I've got very good angles and footwork, and it's going to be a tough night in the office for her to get me where she wants me, the way that she does with other fighters. And I think all I can do is keep winning, keep proving myself, keep building my profile so that maybe the risk and reward become more balanced, if that makes sense. So for me right now, all I can do is just keep winning, keep putting myself out there, keep taking all these opportunities to grow my profile, and be a name that maybe it will convince her that it's worth the fight. I don't think she's scared of me. I'm never saying that. I think some people are like, oh yeah, she's really scared of Pillow Fist, Nicholson, whatever. And it's like, I'm not saying she's scared of me. Yeah. But I'm saying she doesn't see the fight as worthy of the risk of taking the fight. And that's my honest opinion. I've said that from the start. I said that when I was close to being made her mandatory. I said, I bet you that fight still doesn't happen. It didn't happen. She came out about the whole 3-minute rounds thing. She's fighting 2-minute rounds again. Like, do you know what I mean? It's just... Yeah. I think a lot of people have caught on and are starting to realize, but at the same time, like, let's just fight.
Mm-hmm. Is there not ultimately there comes a time where, like, there's only so much you can do for that fight? Like, the angle has to switch to be like, okay, we're going to focus on, you know, if there's one person who for a legacy fight will switch on it to someone else, like, you know, whatever maybe happened with someone like Baumgart who's the division above you, like, that'd be a massive fight. So does the vision at some time has to switch, would you say?
Yeah, of course. I mean, for me, I feel like the featherweight division's hot right now. There's great talent there. There's girls calling me out left, right, and center. There's 2 girls at this point in time that have been told that they're my mandatory, so I don't even know what's going on there. But there's big fights to be made. So I'm happy at featherweight right now. But of course, if there's opportunities for belts and legacy type fights at super bantam, at super feather, at lightweight, like, I definitely have the flexibility, I have the height, I have the reach to kind of move between the divisions and solidify my legacy. But obviously right now, the featherweight division's hot. I've got people on my tail. And Serrano's got me on her tail too. So it's like, and if it's not Serrano and Nina Menke ends up being able to fight for those belts or whatever happens there, I think there will be big legacy solidifying fights in the featherweight division as well. So I feel like I'm in a really good spot. I feel like I've got options everywhere. And all I can do is keep winning.
Definitely, yeah. And so just a final one from myself before talking about sort of next opponents. You mentioned about mandatories there, and someone that fights 2 weeks after you is Raven Chapman. I think seems to be convinced that she seems like she's the next mandatory challenger. So I guess it's not a domestic clash, but it's like a domestic clash in the sense of like a Matchroom Queensbury. So that's another fight, as you say, that would bring an excitement out of you.
Yeah, definitely. I love that fight. Raven and I have kind of always known that we were on a clash course. We were told that she was going to be the mandatory for the winner of me versus Mahfood. And then I think like 2 weeks ago, there was a final eliminator who was apparently mandatory for me. So I don't think you can have two mandatories. I don't know the rules, but either way, they're both fights I love. They're both fights that I want. So whichever one's the mandatory will probably come first, and hopefully the other one will come second. So they're probably going to hopefully be my next two fights anyway. I don't know who, what, when, where right now. Obviously, like I said, full focus on the job this weekend, but there's big fights, there's exciting fights to be made. And I love that there's like quality opponents out there that are willing to fight now, because obviously it's been really hard throughout my first 10 fights to kind of secure good quality opponents.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. As always, Skye, thank you for taking time to speak to me. Appreciate all the way in Philadelphia, and I know it's fight week, so yeah, I do appreciate taking time to speak to you. It means a lot. And yeah, all the best on Saturday night. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Cheers.